I really feel like Solana was getting a lot of play here over the past week, I would say. You can see it's up about 31% in total on NFT sales on their blockchain. That's really kind of been tracked, so I'm sure there's like some that aren't even in this category, but it had a lot to do with OK Bears. I'm going to play a quick little announcement trailer that they had in April. So this has been a long time coming here that they've been able to kind of attract the market here in May. But this announcement was from April when their mint happened, and then we'll go into the rest of the story. All right, and if you're wondering if that was a lot of information, yeah, it was not a lot of info for OK Bears here. I'm on their website, and you can kind of get a look a little bit at what they have planned. They have different merch that they're planning on putting together. They've got a metaverse plan, of course. There's a bunch of different pieces here on the website, but really, it's a 10,000 piece PFP project on Solana itself that picked up steam over the last, I would say, week. And you can see they're the highest in volume out of the entire NFT space. And there has been some drama with now an Ethereum derivative that was just delisted here from OpenSea. So you can see Not Okay Bears was announced and dropped and sold out. This was a Okay Bears kind of derivative here, but on Ethereum. You can see if I click into OpenSea, OpenSea completely delisted it. So there's a couple different talking points. We'll go clockwise here. Thoughts on, OpenSea delisting these pieces. Thoughts on if you would get into Solana at any points, or if you're on any other any other chains, guys. So I'll start with Savage. What are your thoughts on this OK Bears situation, Savage?
I think it's funny. OpenSea flexing their unlimited power. It feels like. I've been watching Solana. I got in Solana when it was really cheap, but now that it's down to like $50 or something again, maybe it's the time to ape into a little bit of Solana and stack the bags a little bit. I don't know if I would be jumping into mints. Seems like everything that mints these days, you wait a day or a week after that, you can catch it below mint. So, except for cyber brokers, I guess, up at 3 ETH, the real good ones take off right away. Salty.
I think like Not Okay Bears was essentially like just like a funks, right? Like all they did was flip it, so it's like considered a derivative in that way. To me, that's like Apple's. It isn't that big of a part of the conversation. I think like what's more important is the fact, like to Savage's point, is OpenSea gets to choose like which of these projects they want to list and which ones they don't. Somebody brought up. Digits brought up earlier in chat, like Rugzuki, it's exactly the same thing as Not Okay Bears. It's just a flip derivative, which is the same as Funks, which is just a flip derivative. But if you look, Funks is listed, Not Okay Bears is not, Rugzuki is not. Why? Like nobody knows. Like, and I think like their argument for these is they're trying to protect you and keep you from buying things that are not the proper project, right? They think you are not intelligent enough to know the difference between Not Okay Bears and Okay Bears, and so they choose to censor that and delist. And when they delist, it is really like it's really an interesting thing, because honestly, look, I come from the other side of this conversation 2 weeks ago, but as I've seen this whole Azuki thing and punks and funks and Zagabond and all this shit, it's like I'm starting to see we need to get back to that whole remember, this is the point of this thing, which is to give creators and artists, right, this ability to capture more of their value and not allow for other people to censor them or keep them from being able to look, if the market says, hey, we like these things flipped on Ethereum, then the market is going to do what the market wants to do. And just, to that point, you can go to X2, Y2 and trade these things freely or buy them or looks rare and pick them up off that marketplace. But because the OpenSea is the majority of volume, then that's where people go. And it does have the biggest net effect. Do we want an entity that is being allowed to currently just choose, right? Like they're getting to choose which projects, get to skirt these rules and which ones don't. Or do we demand a little more, transparency, a little more, I don't know what you want to say, like forwardness when it comes to why is this one listed, why is this one not, and can we get the same thing across the board for everybody, right?
And it has a direct effect on the actual market. If you go to LooksRare, which is where Not Okay Bears is only listed now, you can see that there is an absolute dump after it peaked out on OpenSea right after the delisting. I think it's down from or at least close to mint price. I don't have the actual mint price in front of me, but it definitely took a hit here in the last 24 hours because of the OpenSea delisting. Like that's an incredible amount of power.
And what's important to note there is that they have zero creator fees. So like the only people making any type of like money off of it is the platforms themselves at this point.
Well, if they're coming at it saying like, well, we're protecting you by pulling this, you're not protecting a lot if you pull it after it's sold out. I mean, all those people are now just harmed. They're not benefiting off that in any way. It really does feel like the kind of old Web 2 corporate paradigm is getting sprinkled in here, like little more. Yep. So I do think we need to push back against that. We need to have either some real solid clarity on why, you might have a project that gets delisted, or why they choose to delist some and not others. Like Tarona's point, I think that we as, humans should be able to decipher the information ourselves and not be, have censorship basically. Oh, you're not smart enough to take in this information and decide. So we're going to start, the thought police kind of stuff.
I mean, it's almost worse than that. They get to decide who's not able to sell. That's what they really did, because it's already been minted out, so everyone already has their bag. And then when they just shut it down, essentially what they've said is you're not allowed to recoup your money. You're not allowed to sell these. It's not like we're saving other people from buying them, because it's already been minted out. Right. So they're just sticking with bags. I think it's extremely shitty. I don't get it at all. Flexing too much power. They have way too much power. If you're still out there using OpenSea, take your ass over to Gem or LooksRare or a different platform.